Hi, I'm
And
Nikita,
I'm Moses.
and you're listening to My Prerogative podcast. And today we will be discussing imbalanced relationships. So, have you ever been in an imbalanced relationship, Moses?
What are we defining as an imbalanced relationship? Just like just things aren't things don't feel equal out of like emotionally or
Yeah,
financially or something like that. Or uh,
yeah.
I guess so.
If you feel like someone was putting in more work than the other.
Yeah, yeah, I have. I feel like everybody has, right?
So, yeah, I definitely have.
I feel like I feel the longer you're single, the more often you experience like these weird like relationship stuff because we're still single. So.
Wait, hold up. Are you saying like with, not in romantic partnership, like maybe professional?
I
Like,
mean,
what do you
one
mean?
of those things where like I guess like the idea of like if you're single for if you've been in enough relationships and you're still single, you probably experience some of these
Oh,
because
oh, okay.
we're still single. So it's like, oh, I've probably experienced some of these bad things before.
I feel like, I can't even say that it's gender specific
No,
because I feel like it happens to both parties equally.
I think so.
A lot of times you may hear about, women in relationships with men because of their financial status. And then on the other foot, a lot of times you may hear about men in relationship with women because, they have more going on than,
Mhm.
their male counterpart. So,
I think this is maybe like the
and
most gender equal thing ever that we talked about so far. Because like, yeah, I think it happens to everybody. It's not. I don't think it leans one way more than the other.
yeah. And then I also think that like a lot of times in some relationships that I have, been a part of or been around or like an outsider looking in, it'll be where one of the people involved in a relationship loves the other person more.
Hmm.
And it's like putting forth more effort into like the bonding and the connecting and, doing things together
Hmm.
to, just, I guess, just that push to be together more than, the other. And it's not, gender specific. I've seen the shoe on both foots. So,
I think the question I want to ask is, in your experience, have you been on either end of it before? Have you been the person doing more?
hell, fuck
Have you
yeah.
been the person doing less? Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have. I've had my fair share of fucking relationships where I, exerted more effort and I knew that this person didn't really like me like that, but I was gonna force some shit. Like you gonna fucking like me. So I'm gonna be available whenever you fucking call. I'm gonna be always hot and ready whenever you
Hot,
want to
hot and ready.
be, want to come up, whatever. Like I
Nikita was
am,
a hot pocket. She's like,
gonna
she's a hot pocket.
whatever. I'm gonna plan more, for us to spend, that quality time together. So I've definitely had my fair
I want to
share.
apologize
So
for that comment. I thought about it more. I was like, that was actually pretty mean. I called you out.
no, because I think you were said it more of like a sexual connotation and
No,
I wasn't going in that
no, I
direction. I was just like, whenever you're ready, I'm gonna make sure I'm put together. I'm make sure
I didn't mean it in a sexual
yeah.
connotation, but as I thought about it more, like,
Yeah,
that
it
sounds,
did come out.
yeah,
Yeah. That's why I'm
it's like, oh, that
like, hold
sounded a
up.
little too mean. Like,
No,
I
you're
didn't want
good,
to be
you're
that
good.
mean. Like, I didn't mean it that way. But
All good.
I think everyone's been in that because I've been that way too, where it's like I've been in the situation where you like someone like a lot, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be there. Like they text, like I'm texting back immediately. If they need me, I'm there. Like whatever they want to do, I'm gonna like plan cool stuff for us to do together. Like, hey, we should go out and do this. I know you like this. And I've been on the opposite end where it's like you know, you're just not into it, but this person's trying so hard. It's like, man, should I just date this person, I guess?
Have you ever like been on the other side of it where you're more pulled back than the other person or putting in less effort after you've been the chaser? Like you knew like what this was because you've been on the other end of it. So
Mm.
you know like, oh shit, I really don't like this person. This person really likes me, but I'm still gonna like play along with it. Or are you the type of person that will say, you know what, dear, I don't really like you and you know, I think that we should just be friends.
Um, so I've been in both situations where, so the first scenario you said was like, I'm the chaser, but then like, I like kind of tone it down once a relationship starts. Like, have I ever done that? That was the first scenario you described, right?
No, the first one was were well what I was trying to say is were you once the chaser? Like were you the chaser first and then you got out of that relationship and then the next time, the next instance that this,
Ah,
you
okay,
know,
okay,
this
okay.
type of experience came around, you were, you know, the other, you know, you wasn't
Okay.
the chaser, but did you still continue that relationship and let that person chase you or did you say, you know what, I know what this is. I don't really like you like that. We should just be
Yeah,
friends.
so
Like were you the or did you let it happen? Did you let them chase you? And you knew better,
I've
I guess is what I'm trying
I've
to
done
say.
I've done both. Uh, especially in college, I definitely have been guilty of doing that, of like just kind of letting people chase me, just like, you know, I just like the attention sometimes where it's like, hey, you're so cool. It's like, you got me some Chick-fil-A. Why, thank you. I'm gonna go eat this over there.
I feel like that's fucked up. You ain't even gonna eat with them.
I told her to be. They got me in the middle of something.
I think I probably like you. I have more time to fucking play games like that, you know, in my 20s.
Yeah,
And in my 30s, I was just over it. Like, I don't fucking like you, dude. Like, this
yeah.
will never go anywhere. Like, I was more transparent, more upfront. And
I
so,
mean, that's normal life, right? Like people play more games, I feel like in their 20s. Like when you're a kid, like all the, you know, like the extra drama of like letting people chase you or like going extra hard, like chasing someone, like, you know, like that's a young man's game.
I don't know, because I feel like a lot of older people in their 40s still play those types of games.
Mm.
I run past them all the time. So I know
I mean, I,
that it just because you hit a certain mark doesn't mean that you're all, you know, evolved and now I'm over it. The games, like some people actually get a, you know, a rush off of that shit. And so they play them types of games for the rest of their lives or,
I feel like those are the
you
type of
know, they're
people.
50 and they still fucking playing games and shit.
I feel like those are the type of people who are like 40 and like try to date 20-year-olds or something. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Where it's like, yeah,
I've run into a lot of them and it's like, dude, come on now.
like the people who still want to like play those
This
games.
will
It's
never
like
work.
just always look to see who they're going after. It's like, oh, okay, but it's like I don't know.
Exactly.
Like maybe it's more uncommon, but I definitely feel like I don't know. I've as an adult, I have less time for those kinds of games and stuff. Like, you know what? I got my own stuff I got to deal with. I got bills to pay.
Okay.
Like, if you want to do this, like, if you want to make this happen, like, sure, we can talk about it. But I don't got time to be chasing you for like 6 months or
But then,
something.
like, some people, but okay, so it's probably not necessarily the chaser, but I feel like, you know, when it becomes like that time when you're like grown up and you have bills and shit and you have to be like this responsible adult, the people that typically continues to play games at that time are the people who will let somebody pay bills for them and like buy groceries for them and shit, knowing that they don't really want to deal with this person.
So you're saying the person who plays the games and the chaser is the one with the money?
No, the one who plays the games is the one, you know, who has the bills. The one
Mm.
who the person, the chaser with the money likes the person, but the other person is playing the game knowing that they don't want to be with this person, but they'll use this person and let this person like pay bills for them, do things for them, fix their car and shit.
Yeah.
Knowing that they don't really like this
I
person.
could see that. I could also see like the chaser, the one playing the games and stuff, being that person who has no responsibilities, who's basically just like a big kid.
But do you think the chaser is playing games? I don't think the chaser ever plays the games. I think the chaser is the one who is like, you know, I want this to work. I'm going to do everything that I can and make sure that this relationship works. Like, they're not playing the games. Like, if anything, they're the ones who doesn't benefit from anything because they're giving so much of themselves, and at the end of the day, like, they don't get anything in return.
Like, they're the rabbit and the other person's holding the carrot.
Exactly.
I guess. So yeah, I feel like, I guess I'll switch it around. So like, I feel like the person who plays the games is the person is also can be the person with the least responsibility. Because like sometimes I see like, you know, the people who I think that if you have a lot of free time and are successful, I think you're more likely to play games with someone.
I mean, but when does that ever fit? Like, if you're really successful, do you really have a lot of free time? That's a really small, like, group of people.
It is a small group of people, but I feel like those people are dicks.
I feel like you want to be those people.
I think everybody wants to get to that point. I don't want to
sense a little hater.
I don't want to specifically, in this context, I don't want to specifically be the like. Mose, you just want to get successful. You start playing games. Exactly. Exactly. You got me. You got me. The only reason I'm not a menace is because I'm not rich yet. Once I get the money, you all better watch out.
Oh my god!
Like, sorry.
Turn into a completely different person.
Sorry, Nikita. I got another girl coming over. Maybe we can get you in another day. It's like Mose, you turn into a monster.
Oh my god!
It's
I know. Okay, look.
I saw all those zeros in my bank account.
You know what? I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know.
Don't worry.
I'll remind you of this conversation if you know that happens.
This is all a joke.
Are you sure you want to be this person?
This is all a joke. I'm not.
No, I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. It's like, this is Moses 2.0. I don't even know this person. Like, bring broke Moses back. More broke Moses.
We like you when you were broke.
So I know, right? So Google's definition of an imbalanced relationship is usually characterized by a persistent sense of insecurity for one of the two people involved. So if you're in a one-sided relationship, you may catch yourself constantly questioning your significant other's feelings, the status of your relationship, and your own value as a partner. So 5 signs that can tell you that you're in an imbalanced relationship is if you don't feel like a priority, you feel like there are, uneven power dynamics. You're doing all of the work. Your partner never offers an authentic apology, or you are called needy or oversensitive. So the first question is, okay, so what are the signs of an imbalanced relationship? I think we just covered that.
Yeah.
So what are some examples of an imbalanced relationship that is based on a shallow imaginary expectation about how love should be and how one should act accordingly? So I think that would probably go back to like gender norms back like in the 50s and shit, where, you know, the women had to be home, take care of the house, take care of the kids, you know, take care of the husband, all the household needs, the laundry, all of the above. And the husband only had to go to work, fucking come home, collect a paycheck, and that was it. You know, I think that those are like shallow imaginary expectations of how one should act accordingly. I think those relationships were imbalanced. I honestly think that the women in those days really got the shorter end of the stick, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, yet less, yet less rights. So literally, objectively, you get the shorter end of the stick.
I mean, not even that, but it's like, society would say, what the fuck are you complaining for? All you have to do is you stay at home.
Yeah.
But it's like that shit involves a lot. Like that staying at home, that keeping a home, like that shit is hard. I'd rather go to work, like, to be honest.
I think what's fun about like the modern day is I feel like it's a total grass greener on the other side scenario now, because now it's like I would totally 100% be a house husband. I would do it. Easy peasy. I'd be like Moses, you want to be the house husband? Like, hell yeah. I'm gonna stay home and clean.
I mean, yeah, I think that would be great, but I think and I think that there are a lot of family dynamics like that. I'm not going to say a lot, but there are family dynamics like that. And I feel like they always have to really justify their position and what they're doing from a male's perspective. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have to defend their position. Like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home dad, but I'm okay with my wife making, going and, bringing home the bacon, going out to work every day. Like, I feel like it is like hella frowned upon.
I don't know, because I don't think so. In fact, this week I saw a whole bunch of like videos about that scenario specifically, and when I looked at like all the comments, the people who had the most problem with it weren't like other guys. It was like the women, like, whoa, you can't just do that. So it's kind of like as like among guys, you're like, Moses, you're a house husband. Nice. Yeah. Nice.
But the women were like,
they're like, whoa, what? I have to go to work. You stay home. Like, this is hard, because like I said, this isn't easy. Like it's just what we do.
It's not easy.
So it's like I feel like I don't know, gender norms are very fascinating. They're very interesting to think about, because there's no objectivity going on here. It's all just like subjective looks from like the past.
What
and
works
the present.
for you? Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, like you just said, like working at home is hard. It's not easy. Like it's not like just a cop out.
Hard.
Like, oh, you should be grateful you're just at home. But it's like now, like as the roles are like starting to maybe even like switch a little bit, it's like, whoa, Moses, you can't just stay home. That's too easy. It's like, no, like
that's
like
that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of men have to defend that position more when they do choose that role.
It's interesting,
but it is definitely interesting. Like I think that you should do things that do whatever works for you. If that if your wife is more successful in the business world or whatever it is that she's choosing to do professionally, shit, and y'all have small kids and y'all want to raise y'all kids a certain way, y'all don't want to just stick them in daycare, and you know what I mean, like you want to be in control of like what your kid is receiving and taking in at those young really important significant ages. Hell yeah. Like if my fucking husband is fucking doing construction and I'm a VP at a Fortune 200 company, yeah, stay your ass at home and like, because we can survive off of my salary. You just bringing in extracurricular activity money or, like bill money.
Nikita, basically what we're saying is, Nikita, you get rich, and then I'll just make you breakfast in bed. Be like Nikita, welcome home. How you doing? The house is clean.
Yeah, I could do that.
Like you need a foot massage, you need a back rub. Like what do you need? What do you need?
But do you think that there's a thin line of respect for those type of scenarios for like the typical male dominant superior, type of imagery. Like, do you think that that would do like a lot of harm
No.
to not only the ego, but like to the relationship in general? Because the wife may feel more like, the decision maker and the power hitter. Like, I make the fucking decisions, you shut the fuck up type of.
No, I don't think so. I mean, because like obviously it depends case by case, but like I think I think that's rooted in like the older gender norms if that does happen, where it's like, but I think as times are changing, like, and people are more open to the idea of masculine and feminine kind of intermingling. It's like, it's just,
Mhm.
it's not inherently less masculine or even if it is more feminine, that's not a bad thing for a guy to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
those,
I agree because I feel like we both genders have both masculine and feminine traits and
yeah.
characteristics. Like, just because you're a man doesn't mean that you have to be all masculine and you only have these, characteristics built in,
I
like you may identify with feminine characteristics more than some male characteristics. Like, yeah, I may not want to go out and do construction. I may want to fucking be behind a
like
desk.
I would even
You know what I
say
mean? Like doing admin work.
because I would even say if you go even deeper than that, the whole distinction between masculine and feminine qualities is already like we made that up. Yeah, we
Distorted.
like
Yeah.
we made that up like in a very different time, and we're still kind of using that. Like, so I mean, like you and I, top screen, bottom screen, we're not that different. We both have probably qualities that
It's
intermingle.
normally side by side. This is weird, but go.
Listen, I'm not gonna say I didn't notice it. I'm not gonna say I didn't notice it. This isn't a bad format.
You raise an eyebrow like, what the hell? Oh, top and bottom.
In fact, I feel like when it is
Moses.
top and bottom, I feel like I'm usually on the bottom. I feel like you're usually on top.
I feel like, I don't know, because a lot of, your analogies are, in that sexual, ballpark. I don't know, Moses. Have you been getting any lately?
No.
I think, and I think it shows. I think it shows, Moses, because
So,
your mind
why,
is in the gutter.
well, why did you get
This is a one
why did you get
topic.
up and put
This
your
is a
chest in
one
the camera?
topic. I,
Why did you do that?
I was see, look, I was just repositioning.
I don't know.
Look at
That
you.
was that was a little timed too well. You said, I don't know, Moses. I don't know. Like, oh, I was like Nikita,
I was
calm down. Yes. It
repositioning.
was just too on cue. I was like, Nikita, calm
Oh
down.
my
Calm down.
gosh. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying because you just had to throw that out there, just like the screen. Me on top. You on top. Me on bottom. Like, really?
Actually, for the
Does that have anything to do with imbalanced relationships?
for the people in the stream, I just want you to know when I said top and bottom, I meant it innocently. Maybe Nikita keeps taking my thing sexually. Maybe she's the one.
I don't know. Maybe I'm still holding on to this hot and ready comment that you threw at me at the beginning. I still have that, like, subconsciously lodged. Like, okay, where's Moses at?
I feel like
Mentally.
Nikita,
But
do you want to talk about something? I feel like you're the one who's a little sexually charged today. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about something?
I may be. It may be. I may be. I'm not even going to say that I'm completely, like, that is completely left field and could not be a possibility. But go ahead. You are making a really good point.
Feels like a
though.
psychology appointment now. It's like, Nikita,
digress.
please talk.
Okay, yeah, let's.
Please tell me more. But yeah, just like I think this still applies to like imbalanced relationships because this can lead to like this scenario we're talking about can lead to like maybe an imbalance in like a particular relationship because like like if you feel like your partner isn't contributing as much and like that's because of like some archaic gender roles that we made up a long time ago. It's like that's not fair. You gotta open up.
But even thinking about like those gender roles that we made up a long time ago, um, I feel like that shit was hella imbalanced because just looking at the movies that they would, film during that time, like the men were emotionally detached as well as just, physically with them being at work all the time. And, like, I don't know, it's almost like the women were like slaves, in
Kind
my
of.
opinion. So like being in balance, I think it could, it pertains to not just like, roles, but also that emotional component as well.
I concur. I concur. Indeed. Indeed.
Because do you believe that, in every relationship, somebody loves more or harder than the other? Or do you feel like that only applies to imbalanced relationships? Or
Um,
do you feel like there's always that imbalance?
maybe on like a minute level. I mean, can it ever can, on a day to day is everyone truly loving it? Maybe I'm thinking of it like too numerically, where it's like, is it ever like truly equal all the time? Like, is it always fluctuating?
I feel like, but I do feel like, there are, like, I've been in, relationships very short where, that passion and that like thrill, that desire, was heavily received on both ends, right?
Mm.
And so I do feel like that two people can, be charged and be as, open and, passionate about the relationship, on an emotional level and love each other.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I feel like that may be unrealistic for long-term relationships because it's like some,
Mm.
one of the partners may be more on, I don't know. What do you think?
I guess in my
The emotional factor.
in my experience for like I think the longer a relationship goes on, I think the more things fluctuate just a little bit. Not always like super heavy. Like if we're here, not like it goes like here and then like here. Like, but I feel like there's definitely some type of just fluctuation around like a medium point. As
Like, what do you mean? Like, do you mean, okay, sometimes my wife may call and text me and check on me more this
yes,
week because I'm more busy and,
yeah,
okay.
like
Okay, that's what
absolutely.
you're
Like
saying.
it's like it's not the big things. Sometimes it's like the little things where it's like when I was in a long-term relationship, like once you get past like once you start entering like 2 years or something, like it's or imagine someone's courting you, right? Like like someone's like just you're just starting seeing someone like you guys text all the time, you have all the good morning, the good night, like all that stuff, right? Then like as time goes on, like those things fluctuate. Like some like one week I'll do that. Next week it's like I got like other things to think about. You know what I mean?
I mean, but do they have to,
They
though?
don't have to, but like I think it's just like a small example of like or even like the idea of sometimes like people lose a spark and have to like get it back and like or like they used to do something and have to remind themselves like oh crap let me like it definitely happens with love too that like the longer it goes and maybe like the more routine it gets the more you have to like insert yourself back into that framework and say hold on let me get it back maybe I wasn't like
Right.
people sometimes people like hold on I'm not giving as much she's locked in I'm not
Okay.
locked in let me give it
Okay.
back
So are you saying that? So obviously, relationships they take work, right? You have
yeah
to work at them to keep that spark and that flame or whatever. So do you feel like it becomes imbalanced when one of the parties in the relationship doesn't exert that effort to keep that spark and that flame
yes that that's
going?
I think that's
Okay.
one of the most common
I
ways
think
like
you hit the nail on the head.
yeah
Yeah.
that's one of those common ways I think relationships slowly end over time not like immediately but like
Yeah.
you gotta it's like the biggest thing I learned in my 20s is that love is work it's not magical it's work and that's not a bad thing I don't mean that in in like a bad way but like
I mean, when you say work, that sounds really bad. I don't know why work has such a negative
it's
connotation
it's
around it. It's
you
like,
you do You do. It's the life we live. It's the life. It's
I love my job. I love what I
if
do.
you could not do it
Um, I,
and just live life, would you do it?
I mean, some weeks it depends on which week you ask
Uh,
me. Like sometimes I don't fucking
see,
want to
it's
go,
sounding like what we're
but then
talking about.
I also have that luxury to fucking not go.
Hmm.
Like it's like unless I have a pressing meeting or like something like, something that, can't, I've already committed to. Like I really just would be like, hey, something came up,
Hmm.
see you tomorrow. But I see what you're saying though.
Like
Like I don't know. I feel like if you are
it's
in a career that you don't like, that it's a struggle to to get you up and get you going. Like maybe you should
it's one of
switch careers.
it's one of those things. It's like the new Gen Z like millennial saying now. It's like, oh, like what's your dream job? I don't dream about working. I don't dream about work. Like that's like the old way of like the boomers and the like. What's your dream job? Like I don't dream about
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
Like I don't
I
have a
feel
dream
like
job.
the baby boomers, like they were just unhappy on so many
They
levels, and they
they
accepted.
screwed it all up.
Like,
I blame
I
them.
mean, like,
I blame them.
yeah.
They're like,
Okay,
hey Moses,
so
go to work all your life, 40 years retired, and you'll
work hard, even though you don't fucking like it.
even though
You
even if
have
you
to
hate
work
it.
hard. Like, what the fuck? For what? Like,
But back to the imbalance, like love being work thing. Yeah, but kind of like what you just said, where it's like the longer you're in it, like I said, I don't want to make it sound so bad that it sounds like work, but it is kind of like that. Where like like it's like any relationship ever, it changes week to week, moment to moment, and like when you're in it for that long, it's like you gotta always it requires maintenance. Love requires maintenance. Like if you just don't do the maintenance, if it's just like a car, it's gonna break at some point. Like the levels don't
yeah.
just
I mean,
magically stay.
yeah,
Because I used to think that way.
I agree.
You and me, we grew up watching Disney
I was
movies.
a hopeless romantic too. Yeah, like
Disney,
I agree. Like, love conquers all.
yeah,
Like,
like
no, it
romance
doesn't.
movies, like Disney movies. They really did. I had to like sit back and think like they really did like influence my perception of how love worked in my head, and it didn't really match
Oh my God.
what it was like in real life. Like I thought love was like magical, and it is magical, but like the magic doesn't
You're
like
in the honeymoon
yeah,
stage.
like movies only show that like the honeymoon stage, like oh my god, I love her, she loves me, and it's like oh my god.
We're gonna be
Yeah,
together
and then
forever.
like the movie ends, but it doesn't show them like 3 years later.
And then this person passes gas in bed. It's like,
You would be surprised how much the little things can bother you. The long like I consider myself I'm a very patient person, but being with like my girl my ex-girlfriend for 3 years, sometimes like I will be surprised like the certain things she did that would just kind of annoy me. And it was like, well, like why
yeah,
does this bother me? Like she's just doing this, but like for some reason it's like, damn. And I was like,
like go to hell.
I
Like
I I,
get the
I
fuck out. Don't come back.
I was a passenger in my own head. Like, why does this? I was asking, like, why does this bother me? I don't know. It just does. Why does she leave the toilet seat, or like, like something like that? It's, it's like,
Yeah.
damn it! Why did you leave my drinks out the fridge? It's like what? It's like what's wrong? What's happening to me? You look at yourself and you're like, what's going on? Who am I?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, love is work.
I get that.
You gotta take a step back. And be like, okay, let me get the
I
balance
think
back right.
I don't know. I think we should put a different action there instead of saying work.
Maintenance, fine tuning,
Love is maintenance.
fine
I
tuning.
think that's like the just a natural cadence, like for life. Like
Yeah,
everything needs fine tuning. Like, but
life will naturally drift to chaos if you let it. If you just let life do its thing, it'll just go into randomness of like what's going on. You gotta get back in the driver's seat, take control again.
But they say that randomness is good too, like that going with the flow, you know?
Yeah, it is like it's a mix of two, because you can't stop the flow of life. Like even if you are in the driver's seat, you're not gonna control every little thing, but you still gotta, keep your eyes on the road and be like, okay, where are we going? If you just wake up one day,
Okay.
like a year later, like, what happened to my life? What is going on?
It's almost like it makes me think of like when you're on autopilot, but you're actually driving though,
Yeah,
and then like you get home and you're like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, I don't know
it's the
where,
most amazing
like
feeling.
I was somewhere mental. That is the
I
scariest
think it's,
feeling. Like, are you kidding
I think
me?
it's amazing.
Oh my God. I like have to slap myself every time I park. Like, what? Like, don't do that ever again. Like,
Like, I'll notice it.
I guess it's only from perspective because you're like, oh, that's so
I think it's so
amazing. And
cool.
that is like terrifying to me.
Because like literally just
That is so terrifying. No, you are crazy.
it's like sleeping while you're awake, because you just wake up
Oh
at your
my
destination like,
God.
oh, how'd I get here? I just you're swerving.
You try to think about lights, like did I turn? Like
You
like
don't
I
regret
don't
anything.
like yeah, completely. Like,
You're like you're
man.
navigating through the highway like, huh, here I am.
I
How did I get
know.
here?
That's
Your
crazy.
your brain's amazing. It's like, we got this. Just relax. We've done this a million times.
I know, right? All right. So I think this one is an interesting one. So my relationship feels imbalanced. He is more of the teacher mentor and I am the student. It feels like he is learning nothing from this whole experience. Is this a red flag? I feel like that is. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that would do something to me psychologically
Hmm.
by not feeling like I am providing or contributing to this relationship. Like if you feel like you're just there, you're just existing, you're not contributing,
Hmm.
like I don't know.
I feel like,
I feel
I don't know, you go first.
do you feel like mentor teacher relationships can be successful
Like as a relationship,
as a
as a romantic
relationship?
relationship.
As a romantic relationship.
No, no, not solely like that. No, no, because I've been in a situation like that before, ish.
Were you the teacher or the mentor?
I feel like I'm always the teacher.
Mm. No.
Nikita, we need to talk after.
No,
Off camera, we need to talk.
you set the tone. You set the tone for this conversation.
I feel like you're the one keeping it going. You're keeping the fire lit.
I feel like a lot of our conversations are sexual.
Nikita,
So
the viewers know there's a lot of sexual
maybe
tension
it's a
between us.
residue. It's a residue from a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
Nikita, everyone feels the tension. We'll talk about this later. We'll get this worked out later. But people are gonna tune in for this stream for totally different reasons. Like, why do you guys watch My Prerogative? Like, that's a
Waiting for it to unfold,
they're
huh?
waiting for it to
They're waiting
go.
for the shoe to drop.
They're waiting for the two screens to unite, and I'm over there. It's like, Moses, what are you doing? They're like, hey, this is my prerogative. I'm at Nikita's house. Okay, but yeah, so yeah, I feel like I've been in a situation like that where I feel like I was like, it's a weird to call it like teacher mentor, but like in the sense of like I was a person who was more maybe like worldly and like had a lot of knowledge, and like she liked that, and like it felt like I was always teaching her to do stuff. Not like a mean way, but like we just intellectually, like that's just how our discourses kind of went. Like she would always pick my brain about things, and I was like always like, oh, like that's what do you think about this and that. But I feel like it has to go both ways. I feel like the flow of interest and information should go both ways. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't think anything should ever be like so one-sided in a relationship, no matter what it is.
But what about when you don't have any more wisdom or knowledge to give? Like this person caught up to you. Then is a relationship doomed because that was the foundation of the relationship, is you providing this knowledge. This person, was interested in, whatever wisdom that you were able to provide. And now that they're all caught up and, they're at your level, like now what's the relationship?
I mean, it doesn't have to be doomed. I think you can naturally just change to like, we're just both intellectually cyclical, where it's like, we're just always shit.
I don't know because what did you say? You just naturally adjust, or what did you say? Switch gears or something?
Yeah, that's one option. Like either it adjusts,
or
I could see it like
if you adjust.
I could see what you're probably about to say too, where it could definitely like mess up the dynamic and like something just hits or something, like the gears get.
Exactly. Because if I'm always used to being the teacher, and it depends on the person. I'm not saying that it has to happen, but if I'm always used to being the teacher and then now my student / partner has caught up and now they trying to teach me shit because now I ain't got nothing else to teach. Like I'm probably going to be like, hold the fuck up. Just like our hiking trails and shit.
It's all coming out. It's
now,
all coming out today. You're like, yeah, I want to talk about this. It's all coming out in the open today.
Hold up. So let me catch everybody up to speed. I introduced Moses to these hiking trails. And I would be, the teacher and like, oh, this trail is great. This trail. And then we get on the trail one day and he's like, oh yeah, that trail, like he's the fucking teacher. Like, and I had to look at him and tell him, Moses, I brought you here. Like, I know about all of this shit. Like, stop trying to fucking coach me on like where we should go, how we should fucking hike. Like, this is my domain. Okay.
No.
Like, and he comes in and he pisses all over it. So yeah,
I really did. Listen, stream.
No, we should go this way. Oh no, the water jugs are up that way. Like I fucking know, Moses. I brought you here. So yeah, I do. I feel like that could.
These streams are now. It's all revealed. These podcasts are just for Nikita and I to talk about our problems. Like, yeah, Moses. So imbalanced relationships. You took my trails from me, Moses. You took my trails from me.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
You did.
It's okay, Nikita. I did piss all over them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not denying it.
Did you fucking go out there this morning? Like he started going without me too. Like
I go.
And he would he would send a selfie of him sweating. Like just got off the trail. Like fuck you, Moses. just went up and just got done. Three trails down. Like so.
I didn't go today. I didn't go. I thought about it.
You didn't go today. Just came back from the trails. Like so freaking what? You didn't even tell me you were going. Like, what type of shit is that? You didn't tell me when you finish. Like, why would you even tell me?
Because we're trailblazers.
I don't know.
Oh, wait.
We may need to reassess the trailblazer.
No. You gotta. Here's the worst thing I could possibly do. I'm not gonna do it. Here's the worst thing I could do. I go on the trail. I send Nikita a picture, and it's me with a whole bunch of other people. I would never do that to you, though. I would never do that. I'd never do that. It's like, yeah, everybody knows me here now.
I don't want to be aware. I know, right? Yeah, I wouldn't want to know. Yeah, no.
Oh, God. So, guys.
So back to the teacher.
Nikita and I are going to the trails tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow.
She's like, yeah, I'm going tomorrow. You're not going without me again.
I'll be there. You know what? Like, I won't even tell everybody what you eat before you get on the trail. Okay.
Why are you trying to put my business out there? Why you trying to put my business out there?
Because
No, Nikita, if you don't show up, I'm gonna be like, it's okay.
I feel like you're trying to size me up because you said I'm gonna send you. I will never do this, but I thought about sending you. Or there's just a thought alone. Like, how dare you have this thought of sending me a fucking picture with a group of other people on the trail that I brought you to?
I already had a comeback ready too. I was like, don't worry, Nikita, if you don't show up, I'll be like, it's okay. I got your replacement on the phone. I've got your replacement on the phone.
I'm gonna get you, Moses.
Sounded a little sexual, Nikita. Like, I don't know, but the Nikita today, that sounded a little. Okay, what were we talking about? We went on the super tangent.
About teacher student
Yes.
relationships.
So yeah, it could definitely, like, get the gears clogged up. But look at us, we make it work.
I mean, I don't know. Me personally, like, I don't think I would be very successful if I'm the teacher in the relationship because I like to be inspired. Like, that is like the main attribute of whoever it is that I'm gonna commit to. Like, that person has to be able to inspire me.
I like inspiring people.
That turned, yeah. I'm.
I see how the two of us have kept this going. It's like, Moses, you always like to pick people up and be so positive. Always like to inspire. Ooh, I see that smile. Okay.
Okay. But I do feel like teacher-student relationships are, I don't know, in my opinion, just based on who I am, because I've had people who, were more advanced in life and I felt could teach me something, and I was really attracted to them, and I felt like I, like that person. But, once the information kind of started to slow down, so did my interest in that person.
I can see that.
So
I think also to cycle it back to the idea of gender roles and things like that. I think also just like the positions we occupy in that dynamic. Sometimes, like, as a guy, in fact, wait, I can go even deeper. As a girl, I feel like girls
deeper.
I feel like, you guys are starting to see, I'm the innocent one. I'm the innocent one. I'm the innocent.
I'm kidding. That was a joke. Okay, go ahead.
Nikita is in heat.
You said you can go even deeper, and then what?
Now I'm in her mindset. It's okay, Bob. Okay. I feel like girls typically date older guys, right? Like, even if it's just like a few years, like girls typically older.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like in that dynamic, like, even my 20s, like, I dated people who were like ever so slightly younger than me. So I usually did know more stuff. And like, as I've gotten older, I've become more interested in like dating people who are like maybe even like older than I am. And it's like, because it's like, oh, I want like people who I like the dynamic of like, oh, this person like either knows the same as me or like even knows like slightly more than me about like certain different things, where it's like, I don't know, like maybe like the positions in the gender roles like lean more towards one side versus the other, where it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
So basically, if I'm following you, are you saying that the males are typically the teachers because we typically, in a male-female relationship, the male is always older?
It seems like in a lot of relationships, the guy is usually like even like a little bit older.
But do you think that has anything to do with, teacher, student, or status, like financial position, success?
I mean, like,
this person. Well, that's still imbalance, but yeah, I guess you're right.
So I mean, like, typically, like, if they're older, like, even
that
like financially or like in terms of knowledge, like, you're just a few years ahead.
Okay, so let's rewind all the way back to the beginning, because I think at the beginning we were both in agreement that this one topic is not gender specific,
Mm,
in that it's kind of like evenly split between the two
yeah,
groups. But now, if we look at it from this angle, it does seem like, maybe the males get more of the short end of the stick here, because
mm,
they are, the ones always, I guess you could say, more, they bring more to the table.
maybe
If we look at it from that
from this
perspective.
specific from this we're I got to super clever from this specific perspective. Maybe yes.
Moses is very, very cognizant of his online reputation.
I have just enough followers that's like, hold on, hold on. I got just enough internet clout to be like, hold on, hold on a minute.
Let me make sure I'm making myself very clear.
I don't want this clip to resurface 10 years later. Like, Moses, what did you mean here?
Oh my
People are
god.
watching that. But yeah, it seems imbalanced in that particular scenario. But I feel like, like it's just set up that way. Because but why is it like that? I don't know. But
I don't know, because I think if the shoe was on the other foot, like, a lot of men are intimidated by, or I'm not going to say a lot, like, that's factual, just from what I hear. A lot of men are intimidated by a woman who is more successful than he is.
but even then, I feel like on the other side, are women as likely to go for younger guys? It feels like it's like just like one of those dynamics that's like locked in on both sides. But why?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
'Cause, like on the other side, like
Yeah.
I know a lot of girls like who are friends of mine, like growing up, like through 20s to now. It's like I don't think they would date like a younger guy, like unless, yeah, yeah. This seems to be like a very standardized relationship dynamic, like older guy, younger girl, and like it fluctuates given like how big the age gap is. But that seems like a pretty locked in. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
Hmm.
Agreed. So I have one more
Okay.
question. Why are parental relationships usually imbalanced?
Like between a parent and a kid.
I think between the spouse, their relationships with the kids and what they contribute and bring to the table. I don't know. I don't think that this is more relevant in these days. I think that this would probably be more true back in the way
Back in like the
backs, but I feel
nuclear
like
family
now,
age.
yeah, I feel like now, like, both parties are just as involved. I don't think that there's an imbalance in parental relationships with the, mom and dad and their contributions to, like, what they, do for the kids and their,
It's definitely it's definitely a very loaded, nuanced question because there's way more different family dynamics now than I feel like there used to be. You know what I mean? Where it's like some people are like some people are still like nuclear family-ish. Some people like it's way more like both parents are working and contributing like more
Mhm.
similar things. There's there's more single parent households. There's more multi-parent households where like maybe like there's like a dad, a mom, a stepdad. Like like there's so many
Yeah.
new. I guess they're not new, but like just so many more family dynamics to like look at. It's definitely a loaded question. I don't know how to answer that one particularly without it
Yeah.
being like a little more specific.
Yeah. I think whoever wrote this question, I think, maybe in their small universe,
Mm,
that's probably what they see, but I don't think it applies to
yeah.
the broader sense.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah.
Because when I am at, parent teacher
Conference.
Meet the teacher, and not conference because that would just be me and the teacher, but like meet the teacher, or like, little activities at the schools, extracurricular activities and I see both parents. Sometimes I see the mom, sometimes I see the dad, and, they're just as involved in the child's, well-being and life as the other one. And sometimes, like you said, that it may be a step parent, or, they may not even be together.
Yeah.
So Monday and Tuesday, the mom is dropping the children off, and, so.
Like it's so many different paths now. It's like, you can't really look at them all the same. Depends on the teacher. But,
yeah, I agree.
I'm going to be such a goofball in parent-teacher conferences. I already know. Those teachers are going to talk about me. Be like, who's that?
Not if it depends on what you come in there to talk to the teachers about, because it's like if your child did something and they brought you up here and you being a goofball, then they'll be like, okay, now I understand why the kid is acting out.
You've never seen Serious Moses. You haven't seen that yet.
I've never seen Serious Moses.
I was in a talk with a friend of mine about that. They're like, Moses, I've never seen you like serious or angry. It's like, that's the point. When it happens, you're like, only my cats know. Only my cats know it. Only the cats know. And now they're super trained. They're like, I give them a look. They just sit there. I'm like, that's right.
Shut up. Are you serious?
You want me to get them right now?
No, I believe you.
They know.
I believe you.
I taught them tricks. They know how to sit. They know how to fetch. It's like, oh, calm down.
Yep.
Don't break my shit.
So that is all of the questions I pulled today, but it was a very, very, very good discussion. And do you have anything to add before we go?
It was a fun stream. Everyone have a good day. Nikita and I are going to go hiking. If she doesn't show up, replacements.
I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there. All right. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.